Hello, everybody. My name's Steve Walters, and I'm going to be playing some music for you here this morning. And there's a song that came through some time ago. It's called "Just This Moment." That which is born must surely die. This goes on and on like some endlessly spinning wheel. This world that we see is like a cloud in the sky. There is only one thing that I know to be real. It's just this moment. Always changing, always the same. It's just this moment. So wild and yet so tame. It's just this moment. I'm dancing in the flames. Let them burn. Let them burn. Let them burn. I am what remains. Om Namah Shivaya. Shiva, Shiva, Om Namah Shivaya. Shiva, Shiva, Om Namah Shivaya. It's impossible to speak of this. Imagine holding a candle to the light of the sun. There is only forever and the incomparable bliss of knowing the battle is already won. It's just this moment. Always changing, always the same. It's just this moment. I'll surrender again and again to just this moment. I'm dancing in the flames. Let them burn. Let them burn. Let them burn. Oh, I am what remains. Om Namah Shivaya. Shiva, Shiva, Om Namah Shivaya. It's not about hope. It's not even about trust. It's about ashes to ashes and dust to dust, and finding that home is just this moment. Just this moment. It's just this moment. Oh, it's just this moment.
Thank you.
Yeah, well,
Thank you so much. That's Mr. Stephen Walters
thank you.
in the Santa Cruz area where I am.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure to be in co-ministry with you. Love your music. Love the sensitivity and the testimony. Well, good day, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whatever time of day it is that you're tuning into this, I say welcome. I'm Reverend Deborah Johnson. This is Inner Light Ministries. This is our Sunday celebration, where we come and we gather to remember the truth about our beings. We come here to celebrate this thing called life. We come here to recalibrate. I'm going to be talking a lot about that today. We come here to awaken from the hypnotic trance, the things that have had the focus of our attention, having us hypnotized into suggestions that are unworthy of the majesty of our spirituality. We come here to unleash something. We believe in spiritual transformation. We come here to encourage you to practically apply universal spiritual principles to all of life's circumstances. Our aim is healing through the energy of love and the revealing of our own inner light. We're an omni-faith outreach ministry. We embody spiritual oneness, we appreciate individualized expressions, and we honor all paths that lead to truth. To truth, not all paths, but the ones that lead you to the creative, unifying essence of the universe. The paths that lead to love and redemption, to wholeness, to inclusion, to reconciliation and trust in truth and the grace of the divine. The paths that take you back to the truth of your being and who it is that you are. Today, we're going to be talking about us as spiritual instruments, how we have to recalibrate, and how we have to do that often, all of the time. One of the tools that we offer that assist you in this continuous recalibration that we have to do are these affirmative activations. They're not just words, they're frequencies, they're energy fields. When you align with them, when you repeat them, when you allow them to penetrate into your psyche, when you do it often enough that you really resonate with it and you embody it, then you become a channel for all of its expression. Let's let that sink in for a moment. You become a channel for it. You awaken to the truth of its being within you, and then you become it. That's how it is with everything in our lives, whether we like it or not. The things that we really let, the narratives that we keep telling ourselves all the time, the thoughts that we keep thinking about, what we think about, we bring about. So at Inner Light, we invite you to think about something else. I always say pain pushes until vision pulls. Don't just focus on what you don't want, focus on what you do want. If you are in any way, shape, able at this very moment to repeat these affirmations with me as they appear on your screen, I want to invite you to do that. Our topic today is raise your frequency frequently. Only I can shift my thoughts and emotions. Only I choose my temperament and frequency. Life's tribulations and aggravations don't consume my energy. I am not a string to be plucked, nor will I be jerked around. No matter what they are, outer influences do not influence me. Throughout the day, I regularly recenter. Repeatedly, I choose alignment. Returning to my highest vibration is my daily practice. To recalibrate my frequency, I pause frequently. I'm continuously transforming, forever renewing my mind. Heeding inner whispers, I'm pulled by vision, not pushed by pain. divine love and grace uplift and strengthen me. Just breathe that in for a moment. To find a resting place in your heart. And speaking of our hearts, I'm going to invite Stephen Walters to come back and give us another musical offering to help prepare us for the message today.
Okay. And I'm going to do a little bit tuning to get ready for that message, so that's appropriate. Holding on to nothing and holding nothing away, I wake inside myself, and now comes the singing. It's like a flame forever burning, or a diamond in a mirror turning, or a cathedral when there's no one there. May I speak the words that silence has never spoken. May I sing the melody of a heart that's broken open. May we all know this peace that's everlasting, and may we all sing hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Holding on to nothing and holding nothing away, I rest inside myself. No beginning, no ending. It's like the gleam in a hawk's eye, or a songbird singing in a cloudless sky, or a canyon when there's no one there. May I speak the words that silence has never spoken. May I sing the melody of a heart that's broken open. And may we all know this peace that's everlasting. And may we all sing hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
Sweet, sweet, sweet. Thank you. Thank you. That's Stephen Walters.
Thank you, Rev D.
Like I always say, just breathe that in. Breathe it in. Our topic today is recalibrate your frequency frequently. Recalibrate your frequency frequently. You are a verb. You're a verb. You're not just a noun. You're not just an entity that life is happening at or to. You are verb. You are activity. You are life itself in motion. Life is happening in, to, through, and most especially as you. Life is happening as you. Let's let that sink in for a moment. Not to you, not at you, but as you. You are a unique, individualized expression of the divine. An individualized expression, not a separate individual entity. It's almost like leaves on a tree. Each leaf is discrete and distinct in terms of its material shape and form. No two are alike. But the leaf does not exist except for its connectedness to the tree. It comes out of the tree. We don't get fooled by that, because there are branches that are going towards the east and towards the west, seemingly in opposite directions. We don't think that the leaves from the west are from a different energy or essence than the leaves from the east, because some of the branches are higher and some of the branches are lower, and the leaves on those branches seem to be higher or lower than the others. We don't attach more value to the ones that are a little bit higher to the ones that are a little bit lower. They're all leaves. They're all leaves on the same tree. And so it is with us. We get all confused by these outer forms because one limb is going in one direction and the other limb is going in the seemingly opposite direction. Sometimes we think that they don't have a relationship to each other, or somehow they're opposite. There's a balance that's happening there. Life has this beautiful symmetry about it, and we're part of that symmetry. Because we are energetic beings, we vibrate on a frequency. There's nothing static about us at all. And because we're energetic beings, we are forever resonating with or impacting each other. Listen to what I'm saying. You don't exist isolated. Your life experience, we are bombarded all over the place with different energies and different frequencies. And this particular generation, like where we are right now in history, it is unprecedented. Unprecedented. No other time in human history have there been so many frequencies going on simultaneously. Think about it for a moment. Just something like television, let alone the internet or anything else. When I was a kid, you had a few channels. That was it. And they weren't even on 24/7. They weren't. For those of you who were around at that time, you know, at the end, maybe you got a little emergency broadcast message or beep, like a flat line in the hospital, and boom, out, out. Just look at it now. How many channels do we have? And with each of those come a choice. Whether you're talking about music programs, whether you're talking about cable stations, whether you're talking about internet sites, just the amount of information that's out there, and the information is coming to us on frequency waves. On frequency waves. So if you want that information, you have to tune into that frequency. You have to tune in. It's like if you want information, you're going to have to go to that website. You're going to have to go to that app to go there to get it. But all of it's out there. And you get to choose where you go. Not only do you get to choose where you go, you get to choose what you resonate with. To resonate is to agree with. To resonate is to align with that frequency so that you are vibrating on the similar pattern. We do this all the time. We do this all the time. This is not a judgment. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just talking about it is our state as human beings. You come into a room and there are a bunch of people laughing about some joke or something, and you come in and you find out what the joke is and you're laughing with them. Okay? You are now resonating and vibrating with the frequency of that laughter. You come into a room and you can sense a lot of tension and a lot of dis-ease that's going on in there. And you don't even know what's going on, but something inside of you starts to clench up and your defenses go up because you can feel, this is not a safe environment up in here. Okay. And you start resonating with that tension or disturbance. You don't even know what it's about. But there's something about you that's already tuning into that. Listen to what I'm saying. You have to take control of your frequency. You have to take dominion. You have to take charge of your frequency. We don't. We don't. Advertising agencies are taking advantage of this all the time. Commercials with subliminal suggestions in there. Before you know it, you're thirsty. Before you know it, you're hungry. Because we're not paying attention. We're just allowing ourselves to vibrate and resonate with the frequencies that are coming around us. This is good news, it's bad news. It's good news to the extent that you can always choose to keep going to higher and higher frequencies. You just have to align with the things that have higher frequencies. Eat fresh fruits and vegetables instead of junk food. They literally have a frequency. I've seen videos, and it's the most amazing thing of the auras that they give out, like light waves, and the strength of the impulses. You want to vibrate at higher and higher frequencies, then start putting some good inspirational things in your mind. I talked about the symmetry. I talked about the balance. Don't just get on social media and look at all the drama. If you're going to be on social media, search for some good things too. So good. Sometimes, just for the heck of it, I could be standing in the line at the grocery store or something, and I'll take my phone and I'll just Google search inspirational quotes. So while I'm in line at the grocery store, I'm allowing something else to get into my consciousness, something else to get into my psyche. Think about that. Essentially, we're like instruments. We're like instruments. Our humanity, our personality is like an instrument. Your divinity is your essence. Your essence is trying to express itself through your personality. The compassion, the joy, the creativity, the courage, the strength, the power, all of that you are at the core of your being is trying to express itself through the frequency of your personality. So if your frequency is lower, it can't express its fullest vibration through you. Just let that sink in for a moment. There's an analogy that comes to my mind. Well, several, but the first one I want to talk about is a guitar string, where you have to constantly retune the guitar string. Retuning, recalibrating, for the purposes of this discussion, mean the same thing. But see, when you recalibrate, you're not just shifting something for the sake of shifting it. There's a calibration. The calibration is when something is incoherent. It's incoherent. It is in alignment and doing what it's supposed to do for its highest and its best purpose. So when you recalibrate, what you're trying to do is to get back to that place of the coherence. You're trying to get back to that original vibration or whatever that is that you're trying to resynchronize with. But there has to be a baseline that you're synchronizing with. When you tune a guitar, you're not just turning knobs. And each string is designed to have its own resonance. Okay. And I'm actually going to invite Stephen Walters to come back for a moment as a very sensitive guitar player and explain this process about tuning the guitar and what happens there.
Thank you, Rev D. And that's a great, that word is great. The idea that it's not this fixed thing, it's a process. And you tune a guitar, as we were talking about before. There's this joke in music where if you're out of tune on stage, you just say, well, geez, it was in tune when I bought it, as if there's going to be this static thing, And I've learned so much about tuning, and of course that it is a constant process. And one of the things I've also learned along with that is that even these great tuners we have, these digital tuners that almost every guitar player has now, those will get you close. But if you're really a musician, you have to take that parameter and then really refine it, because that's tuning separate strings, but you still have to tune all the strings together. And not only that, you have to tune to the key that you're in.
Bingo.
If I'm playing in the key of D, I'm going to tune very differently than if I'm in the key of E. And people who do studio work, which I do pretty regularly, it really shows up then, because different chords show up differently. And you have to do something that's called tempering the instrument. You have to come up often with a tuning that sounds good on a D chord and also on an F sharp minor, or if you're in E, all the chords that relate to that. And it's often an adjustment. It says, well, it's good enough in that place and it's good enough here. And then you have what's called a tempered instrument. They say that, one of my lines and what I've heard spoken is, guitars will tune perfectly in heaven. But you just do your best and you come up with a tuning that matches as many of the chords as you're playing as possible.
Mm-hmm. And you have to do it frequently.
All the time. Weather changes it, humidity. Of course, if you have new or old strings, it changes it. And it's constant pretty much. And I've driven people.
Even in the middle of a set.
Even in the middle of the song, I've tuned. So yeah.
Exactly.
I'll be playing and I'll reach over and when's that? And you'll see players, and it's like, oh, where's that break in the song? Where I can just, oh, there it is.
Exactly. Thank you, Stephen.
You're welcome.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, we're like that. We're like these instruments where no matter how much you were in tune before, and to get out of tune doesn't mean you were doing anything bad. It doesn't mean you were doing anything wrong, just usage. So you get on the stage and the guitar is perfectly tuned then. But by the time you play the second or third song where you've been pulling on the string, it's been subjected to a certain amount of pressure, it gets off. But the pressure was what you wanted it to be. I really want you to hear what I'm saying. To recalibrate doesn't mean that you were doing something wrong. It just means that life happens. Life happens. And we have to keep getting back on and keep getting back on and keep getting back on. Whatever that little adjustment is. Maybe you're an athlete. Maybe it's just something about the arc of your wrists. Maybe it's just something about the way that you thrust. These little fine-tune adjustments that we have to keep making. If I'm a tennis player, I can't just keep complaining about the balls that the other person is volleying to me over the net. If I'm a basketball player, I can't just keep complaining about all these defensive players up in my face. Life is in session. Things are going on all of the time. But I have the control, whether I step to the left, step to the right, whether I jump a little higher, whether I fake the situation out. There's all these different things that we can do to adjust to make sure that we are not just at the mercy of all of the things that are going on. I want you to catch that. You're not at the mercy. You are not helpless. You're not. Sometimes we're trying to figure out where to go, what it is that we're supposed to be doing. But before you try to get somewhere else, go deeper inside first. That's your first step. Reconnect. Recenter. Find your pulse. Find that vibration and that frequency within you that is transcendent of the world. As Jesus said, we are in the world, but we're not of it. Interestingly enough, that's the King James Version, but that Greek word that's being interpreted as of, the word ek, also means from. And it's kind of interesting that they translate it as of, because most of the time that word carries with it a spatial dimension, from a locational dimension. We're in it, but we're not from here. It is so important that you get this and that you understand it. You are not your stuff. You're in it, but it is not you. It's like mud or crud on our windshields, where we just have to wash it off. There's an inner you that's never been hurt, harmed, hindered, endangered. It's never been sick, addicted, abused. It has never been oppressed. It is never oppressed. It just exists. It just exists. And that's what we have to recalibrate to. That's what we have to keep going back to. Not just resonating with the frequencies of all of the things that are around us. We have to step away from that. You have to steal away from that. Be still and know. I'm not saying walk around like an ostrich with your head in the sand. What I'm saying is focus. Focus. Get your attention back. Like with martial arts. It's not about the brute force. It's about the focus of the attention. I love that phrase, wax on, wax off, that got made popular from the first version of the Karate Kid, where the young actor wants to know karate. And he goes to the person that he thinks can really teach him, who doesn't really want to be bothered. And he thinks that he's just being given menial tasks. Wax on, wax off. Over and over again, pain. Up, down, up, down. And he has no idea that what he's doing is that he's tuning his muscles. Okay, he's calibrating his muscles. Our muscles have memory. So when you do something over and over and over again, it becomes ingrained. Then you don't even have to think about it anymore, because we are repetitive beings and we keep repeating whatever it is that we've trained ourselves to be. This is wonderful news, and this is disastrous. Okay? It's wonderful news because once you learn something like walking or talking, you don't have to keep relearning it, because something within you is going to remember and kick in and having you do that same thing all over again. Okay? So you're constantly calibrating back to your gait, your stride, your speech pattern. This is also disastrous news. It's disastrous news because too often we have gotten into alignment with, we're synchronizing with things that are not for our highest. They are not for our best, but you won't know it unless you wake up. You won't know it unless you assume some responsibility for where your attention goes. This stuff, I remember being fascinated in college when I first learned the concept of pheromones, this energy field that goes outside of us. Dogs, for example, can really pick up on our pheromones. So if we come across a dog that we don't know, whether you know it or not isn't the problem, but if you come across a dog and you're afraid of the dog feels your pheromone fears and then perceives you as a danger. So the dog will bite you first, preemptively, because it feels like in your fear, you're going to do something to hurt it. I remember being fascinated by the idea of women ovulating. I know this is, old hat news information, that when you get a group of women living together in a close proximity, like a dormitory or something like that, they start ovulating together. Their menstrual cycles start to get on the same pattern and the same frequency. Okay. Not that they're trying to, but because we're all impacted by each other's frequencies. So what is yours? What is your frequency? What is that note that you're trying to recalibrate back to? It's like the pitchfork. What is that you hear that calls you back home? What is that light that you see, even at the end of the dark tunnel, that leads you back home? What is that? In this recalibration, it's like we have a inner compass, which is different from a GPS, where the GPS knows a destination and it's trying to get you to that destination. A compass isn't about a destination. A compass helps make it clear where the directions are relative to where you are. So it helps you to be able to move in the direction that you want to go. There's a line in my book, The Sacred Yes, that I really love. It says, you don't have to know where you're going to know that you're headed in the right direction. Check that out. You don't have to know where you're going to know that you're headed in the right direction. You don't have to know where everything ends up. And too often, we fail to recalibrate. We fail to step out and to move in certain directions because we're not quite sure where it's going to lead or where it is that we think that we need to be going. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Just move in that direction. Just move in a direction of whatever it is. Move in a direction of self-determination. Move in a direction of justice and freedom. Move in a direction of creativity. Move in a direction of financial sustainability. Just start moving in that direction. And it's a law of nature that an object that is in motion is easier to switch directions than one that's stationary where inertia has set in. Okay. So if you're moving along, something happens, you can pivot. You can move because you're already in motion. You're already in motion. I have, I've mentioned many times that I'm from a very, very well-educated family. Education's the family profession. And there wasn't a question for any of us if we were going to college. That wasn't even like a question. Your choice became what you did at the graduate level, like for what you were going to do. But college for us was never about anything in particular other than becoming something, of learning how to learn, of developing the disciplines and all of the rest of that. And what I can really appreciate from my parents, what they were trying to impress upon all of us, not just me, but cousins and everybody, the adults, was that just go to college, because you will be exposed to things that you never knew about before. You will learn things that you didn't know existed. Don't even worry so much about your profession, because there are professions you don't even know about yet. There are going to be discussions there. There are going to be people coming in as visitors and lecturers. There are going to be people coming in from different places that are going to be your counterparts and your fellow students, that your mind is going to expand. You're going to keep calibrating upward. Your frequency won't get static. You're going to keep calibrating towards more possibilities. And this is how I see life. This is how I see life. I see life as this, like, educational institution. Just show up. Just go. Okay? You don't have to have a particular major. You don't have to understand your purpose and meaning in life and all. Just go. Just go. Just get exposed. Just learn. Just see new things. Find out. Discover your skills. Discover your passions. Be of service. Work with some groups. Make a difference in the world. Dream large. Just go. Just surround yourself in the frequency and the vibration of expansion, of possibilities. But that takes a continuous recalibration. We get down, we get depressed, whatever. Your boo leaves you, you get laid off, your mama dies. I mean, this stuff happens. And then it's easy for us to just cower in, to give up, to just stop. No, just get up again. Just get up again. Show up for life, because life is always showing up for you. And I promise you that if you dare to not judge by the appearances, if you dare to just let that inner compass within you just keep pointing in the direction of higher. See, higher ain't on the GPS system. Lord, plant my feet on higher ground. This is your invitation. You don't do this once. You don't just do it when you got knocked out. This recalibration, this is something that you have to do consistently, all the time, over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, till it becomes your automatic practice. So that, like Howard Thurman says, so that with unconscious awareness and deliberate intent. You're so deliberate in this intent, you're unconscious that you're even doing it. That's a place of practice that we want to get to. Just breathe that in. Let us take this to prayer. We give thanks in this moment. We hear, we feel, we sense. Something is calling us higher than we've ever been before. Something's calling us deeper. Something's calling us up, and something's calling us out. And we say yes. We go, we follow. We don't question. We don't question. We know that whatever it is, it's for our highest. It's for our best. We yield. Lord, plant our feet on higher ground. This recalibration that we're talking about, we do it everywhere. We dare in this moment to recalibrate our heart, our mind. We recalibrate our mouths. So the words that come out of them reflect truth, love, and goodwill. We recalibrate back to the frequency of oneness, where we leave no one out, no one's left behind, where everyone is redeemed and brought back into the fold. We keep the light on. There's no one that we would give up on, no matter how dastardly their deed. In fact, the worse their behavior, the more that we know that they're lost. So we step up the love a little bit more, daring to love the unlovely. I can hear Mother Teresa in my head now. When I love till it hurts, there's no more hurt, only more love. We allow that love to wash over us, to cleanse, to purify. Love is the unifying factor of the universe, and we let it unify us, connect us to right action, divine order. Connect us to the inexhaustible supply so that we are open vessels and vehicles. We recalibrate to being sons and daughters of the Most High. Coffers overflowing. Health, strength, vitality. The order of the day. Financial sustenance. All needs met. That's the vibration that we calibrate with. No longer resonating with the frequency of fear and lack and limitation. Oh no. We radiate pure possibilities. It's so good. We tap into the goodness of life, even in the midst. experiencing that joy in the midnight hour, that peace that passes all human understanding. Oh, yeah. This prayer that we pray for ourselves, we pray for everyone. We don't collude with anybody's spiritual amnesia, not even our own. We awaken to the truth of who we are. And we report. Report to class, report to duty. Here we are, Mother, Father, God, use us. Use us. Use our hands, our feet, our eyes, our ears, our mouth. Use our arms to embrace. Guide our feet and our steps. We surrender all. This is the word spoken. It does not return void. It is fulfilled herein. We just get out of the way. We allow it to be. And so it is. Amen. Amen. You know, Stephen, I'm going to ask you to sing just the chorus. I keep hearing nothing less than everything will do.
It's funny that song seems to be up these days. For some reason, that song's coming back, so that's absolutely right.
Yeah, just a little snippet of that.
I was walking down a lonely road, looking for a place to rest. There was no escaping from this ache inside my chest. Then I got down on my knees and begged for mercy, and I raised up my hands. And I knew the answer, even as I asked the question of just how much this love demands. And it's everything, everything. Nothing less than everything will do. And when everything is burned, I will take these ashes and offer them up to you.
Thank you, Stephen. That's Mr. Stephen Walters. You know, we're a praying community here. We would love to pray for and with you. So please avail yourself of our prayer services. There are individuals who have studied for years to be able to hold that energetic space that I've been talking about, how to recalibrate back to the frequency of the divine, to be like that battery pack, so to speak. We're like fibrillators or jumper cables with each other. You know, you get a jump from the other car's battery. Well, we're here to help jumpstart you. We're here to make sure that you're calibrating on that frequency that's the highest and the best, and the highest and the best for all people and circumstances concerned. Give us a call, 831-465-9090, extension 254, or send us an email. The number 4, then the word prayer, at innerlightministries.com, and it's all confidential. Someone will get back to you, and we pray for your prayer request for at least 30 days. And whether you're suffering something or whether you just want somebody to stand with you in agreement for the miracle that you know is coming, let us be with you in that constant recalibration back to our frequency of the divine. Speaking of frequencies, there is a Zoom party that is going on. If you are looking at this in real time as we're broadcasting, I invite you to come in and to join us. There are people who are there from across the country, from other countries, chatting together, sharing stories in breakout groups, having basically a virtual fellowship. So I'll invite you to avail yourselves of that. As soon as you get off of this, please go on and join them. The tiny URL is scrolling across. For information about the different things that are going on, the activities that we have that are both in person as well as virtual, we invite you to take a look at our calendar. Lots of information that's there about upcoming things, and just to remind you that we do have a food bank. Our food bank is still going. We are now at Santa Cruz Bible on Frederick Street, close to SoCal in the Santa Cruz area, still at noon on Thursdays. If you have need or anybody that you know of, please come by. And I say thank you, a shout out to all of the volunteers who are faithfully just making that happen. We distribute thousands of pounds of food every week. It's just one of our many activities. Please check out our calendar. I'm also going to invite you to make a contribution. You will see on your screen that there are a number of different ways in which you're able to support this ministry. There's a QR code that's on the left there, and you can put your cell phone or mobile device right up to that. It'll take you straight to our donate page. You can go online, and you'll see there's a donate button on our website at innerlightministries.com. There's Cash App, $ Inner Light Ministries, or you may even choose to text. I want to also invite you to do a recurring donation. When you go to the donation website, you see that you have that as an option. I do recurring donations, maybe 25 different organizations, just as a show of love and support. Some people use it as their tithing portal. Whatever it is that you do, we appreciate it. And for those of you who are faithful in giving to us, or even if it's a one-time gift, it is all a blessing and allows us to continue to reach people and do the extraordinary ministry that we do. And I just want to say thank you. We're an independent ministry, and we're here because of the generosity of those of you who support us and this message. And I'm going to turn it back to Stephen to take us home.
Thank you, Reggie. Talk about getting charged again. This does it for me. This song came through some years ago when I was actually at another church in town here performing, and I was not in the best place, and this guy that was there saw that, and he came over and he said, well, I'd like to share some words from my guru, if you don't mind. I said, sure, show me, or tell me. And his eyes cleared, his eyes looked incredibly clear and blue, and he said, you are in the light is in you, you are the light. And I made a very simple song from that. fact, if you're hearing this at home, and if you like singing along, please do. You are in the light. The light is in you. You are the light. I am in the light. The light is in me. I am the light. We are in the light. The light is in us. We are the light. You are the light. I am the light. We are the light. You are the light.
Well, amen. Thank you, Stephen. Let us take this consciousness and multiply it. Peace and blessings to you. See you next week.